Today we are going to read Chapter 15 Preparation for a Journey from the book Heidi, written by Joanna Speary. One sunny September morning, the kind doctor, who had been responsible for Heidi being sent home, walked along the street to the Seseman's house. It was the sort of day on which everyone should have been happy, but the doctor hung his head in sadness. His hair had grown whiter since the spring, and he wore an air of great sadness. His only daughter had died recently. She had been the great joy of his life since his wife had died some time before. Now, he just could not seem to be able to recover his spirits. Sebastian opened the door and showed him in. Mr. Seseman greeted him in the hall. The two old friends shook hands, and Mr. Seseman could see how unhappy the doctor was. I'm glad to see you, doctor. I want to talk to you about the trip to the mountains. Haven't you changed your mind now that Clara seems so much better? The doctor became impatient, but he was careful not to lose his temper as he explained to his friend that the long journey to visit Heidi would be more than Clara could take. Mr. Seseman knew the doctor was right, but he also knew how much this trip meant to his daughter. He just did not have the heart to tell her she would not be able to go. Then Mr. Seseman had an idea. Why not send the doctor in Clara's place? His friend was looking so poorly that the fresh mountain air and a change of scene would do him a world of good. Besides, he could visit Heidi and bring back all the news to Clara. When he suggested this to his friend, the doctor thought for a moment, then agreed. Mr. Seseman was pleased with this new plan and hoped Clara would not be too sad. When she learned that she could not make the trip herself, Clara could not keep the tears from her eyes. But she was told that the trip would only make her health worse. So she blinked back the tears and turned to the doctor. Oh, please, go see Heidi for me. When you come back, you'll be able to tell me all about your trip. And it will be almost as if I had been there myself. Then Clara began planning what little presents she would give the doctor to take to Heidi and her friends. The packing was no easy task, for there were many things that Clara wanted to include. First, there was a thick coat with a hood so that Heidi could go and visit Granny during the winter. Next came a warm shawl for Granny to wrap herself in when the cold winds howled around the small cottage. Then there was the box of little cakes for her to eat with her coffee and an enormous sausage for Peter's mother to share with Granny and Peter. There was a pouch of tobacco for grandfather and a lot of little surprise packets for Heidi. The packing was soon done, and Clara waited anxiously for the doctor to pick up the trunk and depart for the mountains. The end. Hope you enjoyed this chapter, and we'll be back with chapter 16, A Visitor for Heidi. Until then, take care.